From 1860 to 1865, the United States fractured in one of the most consequential conflicts in its history. This opening sequence sets the geography and the moment, a nation split by deep disagreements over slavery, economics, and states' rights that would soon erupt into full-scale war. The war grew out of interwoven causes. The institution of slavery, divergent Southern and Northern economic models, and fierce debates over states' rights versus federal authority. Those tensions shaped politics, daily life, and ultimately, the decision to take up arms. After Abraham Lincoln's election in late 1860, several Southern states declared they would no longer belong to the Union. The secession crisis escalated as new state governments formed, and the Confederate States of America emerged, setting the stage for armed conflict. In April, a bombardment at a fortified island stronghold marked the outbreak of open warfare. Fort Sumter's fall galvanized both sides' Northern determination to preserve the Union and Southern resolve to defend independence, ushering in a long, violent struggle. The first large battle near a northern town shattered early hopes of a short conflict. Recruits on both sides clashed amid chaotic advances and turned retreats. The Union's early setback revealed the war's likely length and cost. In the Western theater, battles like that at a Tennessee riverside produced shocking casualty counts and a grim new seriousness about operations. Commanders learned bitter lessons about coordination, supply, and the human cost of modernized warfare. The Union pursued a strategy to strangle the Confederacy's economy, leveraging railroads and industry, while the Confederacy sought to defend territory and outlast Northern will. Logistics and infrastructure would prove decisive across campaigns. Leadership and logistics mattered as much as battlefield tactics. Presidents, generals, and quartermasters coordinated rail movements, telegraph dispatches, and supply depots. These systems shaped the speed and scope of campaigns far beyond any single engagement. A brutal engagement on a Maryland field produced staggering losses and halted an invasion into Northern territory. The battle's strategic outcome gave the Union a critical opening to shift war policy toward emancipation. Following the Union's tactical opportunity, a presidential proclamation reframed the war's purpose. It declared the freedom of enslaved people in rebel-held territories, transforming the conflict into a fight against slavery and opening the path for black enlistment. As the war progressed, black men answered the call to serve. Enlistment into Union ranks not only bolstered manpower but also deepened the conflict's moral stakes and the stakes of citizenship and freedom for millions. In midsummer, a bloody three-day clash on a Pennsylvania ridge ended hopes of a decisive Confederate advance into the North. The scale of casualties and the strategic defeat made Gettysburg a turning point for Union momentum and Northern resolve. Simultaneously, a protracted siege of a major Mississippi stronghold split the Confederacy and gave the Union control of a vital waterway. The fall of the city reshaped the strategic map and bolstered Northern confidence. By 1863, civilians experienced shortages, divided loyalties, and the grief of mounting casualties. Morale fluctuated with each victory and loss, and the war increasingly touched homes far from any battlefield through conscription and economic strain. In the final years, Union leadership adopted aggressive, coordinated strategies to apply continuous pressure. One general aimed to engage enemy armies relentlessly, while another advanced through the heartland, undermining the Confederacy's will and resources. An infamous campaign swept across the Deep South, aiming to break civilian infrastructure and morale. Elsewhere, a prolonged siege of a key city ground down defenders until supply shortages and exhaustion made continued resistance untenable. In spring, weary forces met to end large-scale combat. A formal surrender in a quiet village courtyard acknowledged military defeat and began the painful process of reunification, bringing major armies to a close while leaving deep wounds behind. At war's end, the president spoke of healing and shared responsibility, urging reconciliation. But his assassination just days later shocked the nation and complicated the transition to peace, leaving an uncertain path ahead for reconstruction and justice. After the fighting, the nation faced the enormous task of rebuilding institutions, integrating formerly enslaved people into civic life, and redefining citizenship. The political and social consequences of the war would echo for generations. The Civil War remade the United States politically, socially, and morally. Its lessons about union, freedom, and the costs of division remain essential. Thank you for watching. End credits follow with sources and further reading.